My name is Rick, and thank you, thanks. In case you were wondering, and I've been gone the last 2 weeks, and I was informed by a lady this morning that I was almost missed, and then she said, "Let me explain that. The two guys that filled up here, Mike Cook 2 weeks ago and Ron Getz last week, they did such a good job, and that's why I say you were almost missed. And so thank you for almost missing me. Where I was at, I was over in Israel for a full 11 days, with travel 13 days, and people ask, "Oh, how was it?" And it's one of those where it's impossible to describe in words. I give a one word, well, it was incredible, it was marvelous, mind-blowing, life-changing, and it's all those things and more of that. The way I put it, it'll take me the rest of my life to unpack the 11 days that I was in country, and that is so true. But last Monday, our last full day over there, we're sitting having lunch in downtown Jerusalem, and I just want to show you a brief clip of what we experienced. Yeah, I know it looked kind of like a movie clip out of Raiders of the Lost Ark initially, but I actually took that with my camera. And what that was, you see the balloons that were white and blue, saying this is Israel. This is for we are Israel, and that was a bar mitzvah ceremony coming through downtown Jerusalem. And when he saw us there, you see the guy goes into the Star Spangled Banner because he knew we were Americans, and then he goes like, "God bless America," and "God bless Israel." It's just, poof. I didn't talk to a lot of Israelis, but when I did, I go, "What do you think of America?" This is what I got, two things. Number one, we worship consumerism. One guy, we were sitting there and goes, "Yeah, you guys worship, you guys just are consumers." The other thing is, "Are we your friends?" He goes, "Oh yeah, America, you guys are our friends. In fact, you're about the only friends we have, because if you know anything about it, they're surrounded by people who wish they would just go away and die." So there's some tension, obviously, that's over there, and that's just the way it is. And so every, let's say, Friday afternoon, people start getting to rush around buying last-minute groceries, and they're turning all the lights that they want on for the next day, and they're getting ready for the Sabbath, or the Jewish word is Shabbat. They're preparing for Shabbat, which begins at dusk on Friday evening, lasts until dusk on Saturday evening. And it's a huge thing. If you're Jewish, if you're in Israel, Shabbat, or we'd say Sabbath, and they go Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. And if you know what Shalom means, it means what? Peace. Oh, so may you have peace on the Sabbath. And they start going into song, Shabbat Shalom. And I'm like, wow. And so even on the Sabbath, on Saturday, there aren't many cars on the road because some folks won't even drive on the Sabbath. And part of the reason is they won't turn the ignition in their car. And I got, really? That they turn their lights on before then so they don't have anything to do with electricity. And I'm going, help me with this one. And well, here's this verse. You shall not kindle a fire in any of your dwellings of the Sabbath day. And to them to spark anything is to kindle a fire. So we'll do nothing that even has a spark to it on the Sabbath. I'm going, are y'all serious? They're very serious when it comes to the Sabbath. They've been observing that for thousands of years now. My roommate and I were checking out of this hotel Saturday morning, which is Shabbat, which is Sabbath, and there are two elevators. One is wide open, so we go, okay, that one's ready to go. So we get on, we push the buttons, nothing happens. We don't know what's going on. We get off, we read the sign. It's a Sabbath elevator. I don't even know what that means. So it gets to rest. It's out of order on Saturday. We take the other end. We get upstairs. They get, no. We talk to people that knew about this. They said, no. You don't understand. The Sabbath elevator, it goes to one floor. The door's open. It stays open for a while. It doesn't matter what buttons you push. After a while, it closes. It goes to the next floor. Door is open, door is closed, to the next floor, and to the top, and then it comes down and does the same thing all day long, so you don't have to do any work by pushing a button. I mean, that's how serious it is that you shall not do any work. You shall rest. That's what it's all about. Spend time with your family, with your friends, and eat, and make music, and go to synagogue, but you just rest. That's what you do. That's what everyone does. Let me ask you, do you think they have youth sports on the Sabbath in Israel? No. That's all taken care of. No one would come. Or if one did, you'd be the whole team because no one else is showing up. So it's interesting. It seems bizarre, weird, somewhat legalistic, but they see the Sabbath really as a gift. So, we're not Jewish. I don't think you are. If you happen to wander in because you couldn't find a synagogue, thanks for coming. But you're probably not. Jesus said this when it comes to the Sabbath. He said, the Sabbath was made for you, for us. You weren't made for it. You get it? So it's not all about all these rules. It's not about all the do's and the don'ts. It's a gift. God said, I gave you this gift of rest. Would you please cease from activity? Would you please rest internally? The reason many people cannot rest externally is because they cannot rest internally. They cannot cease from activity. Why? Because they're all worked up inside about something. Maybe they can sit down, but just because they're sitting down doesn't mean that they're not worked up. Maybe that's you. Maybe you know someone like that. They just can't sit still. Or if they do, they're just going on about so many things. The body's at rest, their mind, their soul, their spirit certainly is. So they cannot receive the gift of the Shabbat or Sabbath. The Bible college I attended in South Carolina for 4 years, we were prohibited from studying on, not Saturday, because we're not Jewish, but on the Lord's Day, on Sunday. We could not study on Sunday. It doesn't matter what your grades were, if you were way behind, if you mismanaged your time during the week, or a big test was coming up on Monday, you had a paper, tough. Come midnight Saturday, you could not. I mean, it was a rule. And all day long Sunday, we were to eat and go to church and hang out and take a nap, read the paper, whatever it was, but you couldn't study until midnight, Sunday night. You know that sometimes the more you do, the worse it gets? But if you don't know how to rest, you don't know how to relax, what else are you going to do? See, to be healthy, to be emotionally healthy, you must learn, you must have cycles of work and rest, not just every day, but every week. And if you can't do that, you will not be emotionally healthy. I'm still wrestling with the whole jet lag thing. First couple nights, I could hardly stay awake, 8, 9 o'clock at night, But come 2 a.m., guess what? I'm staring at the ceiling, wide awake. So it's been like tough getting that rest in. I'm almost there now. But this Sabbath, this whole thing of rest, wasn't just a Jewish thing. It wasn't just an Old Testament thing. It wasn't just a Torah issue. It was something that God put in place himself from the very beginning. Because, this is what God said. And by the seventh day, God completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. God blessed the seventh day. God sanctified the seventh day. Sanctify means to set apart. If you're sanctified, you set that part or this thing or this person apart from everyone else or everything else. This is a special day. It's not like any other day. It's not like, gosh, God was so tired. You know better than that because God's omnipotent, meaning God's all-powerful. It's impossible for God to ever get tired. So why did he rest? As an example for us who do need to rest. Here, not just physically, but more important, internally and spiritually. Would you just rest? And he rested from all his work which God had created and made. He sat down and then once it's kicked his feet up, looked around, see what he done. This is good. It's very, very good. I'm done here. You might say, but my work's not done. I am busier than God. That's where some people are at. You know what? I would love to do that. But I'm busier than what God is. I don't know why I'm so busy. I'm not sure why God made it like this, but it just is. And so I work myself into oblivion. I cannot possibly rest. In fact, when I sit down, when I cease, other things start coming up inside of me. This morning, I want to give you permission to rest. I'm going to give you permission. I didn't say permission to fall asleep right now, but permission to rest. Because I'm sitting down. I know that's only a part. Permission to rest inside. Did you know that when I was gone, two incredible things happened? Number one, I got up at 2 a.m. last week to watch the 7th game of the World Series. Yeah. I told my roommate, hey, do you mind if I get up? Do you mind if I turn the TV on? And it was in Hebrew, so I couldn't follow what they're saying. But I did. And did you know how that turned out? Did you hear? Craig, did you hear? Ooh. That's what you get for sitting up front. Because I can see you, interact, having a good time. Okay, anyway, Cubs won the World Series, 108 years. I'm sitting there going, and I'm doing Shabbat Shalom. It's not even Shabbat. But I'm so excited because they won the World Series. And did you know that when I flew back, the day I flew back, and it was like a long flight, a bunch of airports, did you know that was Election Day? I was so glad when our aircraft was over United States airspace. I really was. Because who knows what's going to go on? Now, even now, who knows what's going to go on? You thought, oh, the election, now that that's settled, woo! You know what's going on? In numerous cities in this nation now, there's not rest. They're more worked up than they ever were, how dare this happen? They know it's not going to change. But they just want everyone to know, we're just not going to take this sitting down. I go, that is so interesting. Part of me says, I understand that if you're not in Christ. But did you know? There are some Christ followers that are all worked up and they're perhaps even marching and letting everyone know that they're not very happy. For some folks, I would say, not only do I give you permission to rest, I want to tell you, I want to almost command you. Oh, that doesn't sound right, does it? You tell me what to do, and no one tells me what to do. I want to command you, if I could, if you give me permission, to rest. You need it. You need it every day. It's called sleep. You need it every week. It's called either Sabbath, the Lord's Day, whatever day you want to put in. It doesn't matter what day it is. It really doesn't. But you need to rest. Oh, no, not me. I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I have all this, and I don't know what to do with it. No. You need to rest. I have so much. No, you need to rest. We all need to rest. That's how God made us. That's His mandate. But some, when I say that, you go, I would love to, but I can't. I would love to shut down. I can't. I would love to be content, but I can't. How can you? I have financial issues. I have health issues. I have family issues. And now we have political issues and on and on and on and on and on and on it goes. I can't. My grades aren't very good. My boyfriend broke up with me and my car doesn't run very well. You expect me to rest. My dog doesn't obey and the cat is sick. How can I rest? And that's where a lot of people live, right there. I love to, but I can't. I think there's a couple reasons why people normally can't rest. One is fear or worry. I don't even want to see the hands. How many people came and you're worried this morning? Don't even put them up. Don't want to see them. What would it be like if you left and you didn't worry anymore? I have no idea because I've been worrying all my life. I don't know what would that be like. That's like asking me what would it be like if I was the other gender? I don't know. Right? Beats me. I've never been there. I hope, right? I know that's even dangerous grounds these days. I know something you don't know. But some, that's all they've ever known. And so I don't know what it would be like. Or if I'd ask you, what would it be like to be a Cubs fan? You go, I don't know. Never been one, don't want to be one, right? But we can help. We can help with that, Craig. Let you know. We can anoint you. But people are so scared. Worry is fear of what might happen. It's future, it's present fear concerning the future. That's worry. And since we don't really know what the future holds, oh my goodness, I think I'm going to worry. I think I'm going to control as much as I can so the future turns out a certain way. In regards to, you name it. What do people worry about? I go, you name it. They're worried. Someone's worried about it. What's going to happen in this country? What's going to happen in my family? On and on it goes. And so some people cannot relax. They cannot rest because they're all worked up. They even worry on vacation. Did you know that? Did you ever go on vacation and your spouse is worried and it really ticks you off? You come back with them anyway, I know, but I go, we're on vacation. Yeah, I know, but I just want to tell them, knock it off, would you? But they can't. It doesn't matter where they're at. It doesn't matter. Do you know some people can't sleep at night because of this? They're so worked up. They're so worried about all kinds of things. They can't rest. Because if you can't sleep at night, how do you feel in the morning? Not good. I'm tired all the time. I'm a friend to fatigue. Another reason is that people are overextended, which is a kind way of saying that they're just so busy. They can't rest because they're so busy. Do you know why we're busy? Because we want to be. Oh, no, that's not right. I'm not because I want to be, it's because I have to be. And there's certain things, you have a job, you have a family, there's certain things, but there's a lot of folks that even if there was nothing to do, they would find something to do. Because when they relax, they feel guilty. Like, I don't deserve to relax. I'm not good enough to rest. My worth is in my work and only in my work, and I've never done enough for God or whoever it might be, for Dad. And so because to get out of guilt mode or shame mode, I'm going to overextend myself. Another reason is you can't tell anyone no. I'm a people pleaser. I couldn't take it if someone was mad at me. Do any of you have Thanksgiving plans yet? Oh, man. Thanksgiving, not again. I mean, you like the food, you like the football, right? That's what Thanksgiving is really about, food and football. But I have this relative thing going on. You're wrestling with that already? Well, we got to go to her house, and their family, I don't know where we like them. But then we got to cut it off because then we got to be over here because if we don't do both places, and then someone's going to be mad, so we have to really eat both places like we never eat at either place, and how are we going to do that? And so you're already kind of putting a game plan together as to how you can make that function. And they're thinking, man, if only they would die, right? If only they would just cease from existence, and we wouldn't have that issue anymore. You hate to admit it, right? Or maybe if not dead, at least if they move far, far away where they know it's an impossibility. Because you can't bear to have someone be upset with you. And so I overextend myself for a number of reasons. Over busyness, is a spiritual disease. Did you know until you give God your time, you have nothing else to offer him? Nothing. And so part of his strategy is to get Christians and the churches so busy, so overextended that we couldn't be effective for him if we wanted to. We're too tired. I've got so much to do. Really? I always got to go, I'm not that important. I'm really not. Another reason, feeling that something is missing. I am so busy, I'm looking for the golden nugget. There's this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. A lot of people, they live in FOMO mode. I'm just scared I'm going to miss out on something. And that's why when you have the remote control on the television, you can't stay on one channel, can you? It's not like you don't like what's on this channel. You just don't know what you're missing on the other channel. And so you just go through it. You go through it. It's normally a male issue, but not exclusively. Right? You females, you know that, right? Can't you just knock it off? And as men, we're going, no, we can't. We can't. We've got to find out what's over here. We have to find out what's happening on that channel. It doesn't matter how many you record. I have 3 things recording right now this morning because I don't want to miss out. But some folks, they're always in that. Something's missing, even spiritually. Boy, something's missing. Something's missing. If I just did one more Bible study, maybe I'd find the golden nugget. Or if I just found the right guru, the right pastor, or the right church. There's a secret somewhere. Maybe if I entered into this way of looking at things, boy, if I just changed my theology, if I just, the next book, the next conference, there's something missing because, you know what? We all feel that somewhere. But I'm just not where I ought to be internally. And you know what? I think we all sense that. You know, I've been walking with God. You said, I've been walking with God for 20 years or 50 years, but boy, I tell you that I know that I'm not where I want to be. I thought I would be at a different place, and I don't know what's going on. And so we keep going, we keep treading. Because something's not right. Something's still missing. And here's the final thing. Why so many people can't relax. They just don't trust God. They don't. To trust that He's really in control. See, if God's not in control, if He's not, how could you really ever relax? You can't. In control of the most important things in your life and in your world. Can you trust God with, and not like fill in the blank, with your retirement? When I was over in Israel, my wife texted me, and I used to belong in another denomination. We were there for a number of years. She got a letter in the mail. My retirement from that I had over there has just been cut in half. It's for everyone in that denomination. Every single pastor. It's just been cut in half. And I'm going, well, that's nice. Right? That's nice. And I didn't have it all there. In fact, I didn't have a whole lot in there, but it was something. And they said this, right now, you're lucky you have any at all. It almost all went away. So you'd be glad there's even half there. I go, well, we're going to get that half out of there real fast. So just think if half your retirement is gone for a couple, because some pastors in my denomination had all their retirement there. This is a Christian denominational organization, and here's the letter that comes in the mail. Half of your retirement is gone. And what do you do with that? But here's part of the question. Can you still trust God? The answer better be yes. Has He let me down yet? No, hasn't. I don't know what that's going to be like, but better trust God. I had this weird feeling. I almost told someone I didn't. I had this weird feeling that I was going to die in Israel. Can't tell you what's that about. I thought for sure I'm not a coming back. Then I got to a place where that's okay. I'm going anyway. If I don't come back, like I said, you didn't miss me anyway, so. You know, if I would have died, it would have been two things. Oh, what happened? That's what happened? Oh, too bad. Here's your second thought, just like this. No, what happened? When's the funeral? Third thought. Better get someone else to fill his shoes, right? It would have been just like this, too. It wouldn't have been this long morning. Oh, what happened? Oh, he took the bullet. Oh, tough. You know, that's too bad to hear that. I might come to the funeral. I don't know. But we better get the committee together, right? Better get the committee together. So it wouldn't be a whole lot of mourning. And that's okay. But this part, am I going to trust God with this? Because I didn't know. I thought, well, The day before I left, I called up the pastor who led me to Christ when I was 8 years old. Hadn't talked to him in decades. I just want to thank you for your faithfulness and what you did. And I was kind of breaking up, and he kind of got concerned. Hey, do we need to talk? No, I'm all right. We'll get together when I get back, if I get back. But you have to trust God. Did you know that our next president is going to be Donald Trump? Did you know that? And you go, of course I do. And that could either be good news for you or bad news for you, or you've ceased to care anymore. But can we trust God with this country? Better be able to. See, this is the verse that's so incredibly important. Let every person be in subjection to the governing authorities. Be in submission to. For there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Ask a question, who put Donald Trump in office? The American people? His great campaign, or God? I think they were all working, but it was God. Well, what if Hillary would have won? Same thing. But I don't like her. It doesn't matter. It still would have been God who was at work to put those in office whom he believes ought to be in office. Even if it's a bad person? My answer is, yeah. I don't know what else you do with this verse. Is it just political office? No. Let every person be submissive to the governing authorities. We hate submission, don't we? Because submission means that we're not in control. And we love to be in control. If the world understood this verse, they wouldn't be protesting out in the streets. It's not just the protest, but do you see the anger behind the protest? If you want to carry a sign and say, I don't agree with that, that's one thing. But the hatred that's behind it, no excuse for that. Are we able to trust God with this country, or are we too scared, too afraid? Do we worry? If you can't trust God, you can't relax. Learn to trust God. If you don't trust God because you don't know God, get to know God. And you can trust him with your life, even if there's much life left. To know him is to trust him to enter into Shabbat or Shabbat Shalom. Enter into the Sabbath and have peace in the Sabbath. To cease from work, to cease from activity, to cease from internal stress. You don't have to be stressed, you know. I love this. God is our refuge and strength, the very present help in trouble, isn't he? That's what he does. He helps in trouble. Therefore, we're not going to be afraid. We're not going to fear. We don't have to be scared. Though the earth should change. Really, yeah. If even mountains would fall into the sea, we're not going to be scared. Because God's in charge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has wrought desolations in the earth. He makes wars to cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariots with fire. Well, that seems violent. Cease striving and know that I am God. Other versions says, be still. And it doesn't just mean enter into silence and solitude. It's that, but internally, be still. And in one sense, although there's calamity all around, in one way, all is well. When anyone says it's all good, there's in some sense that's true, but only because of God. Cease striving. Just experience me as God. Just know me. There's a Hebrew word, yada, and it means just to know, to experientially know, to relationally know. Just know I'm God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Really, really. Rest, relax, take it easy. It's all right, and it's going to be all right. Trouble surrounds us, but it's okay. It's supposed to be that way. What did you expect? Heaven on earth? The Lord of hosts is with us, and He is in complete control. He is in control. He is in control of the chaos, of the unknown, for He and He alone knows the unknown. I don't know, but He knows, and I know Him, so I'm okay. And because of that, we can sleep without fear or worry or anxiety, because there is nothing we can really do about it anyway. And because of that, we can take one day, 24 hours off every week for rest, relaxation, enjoyment, and pleasure, knowing that as long as we worked hard for 6 days this week, whatever didn't get done doesn't need to get done. The seventh day is not to be the catch-up day, to cram other stuff in. We can trust Him with that. Our bodies need to rest, and so do our souls. And when we do, we acknowledge and we proclaim to this world, we trust in God so I can relax. Too bad for you. But I can and I will and I need to, and that's our proclamation to the world. We're not fearing anything. We're not scared of any man. As Martin Luther King Jr. says, "For mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord." So we acknowledge Him as being sovereign and trust Him with our lives, the lives of our loved ones, saying it's okay. And that changes everything. Allows me to slow down, to be silent, to be content, trusting in the Heavenly Father who cares for us. We can enter into Shabbat Shalom, the peace of the Sabbath, because He is God and this God is in control. Let me just pray God's peace over you now. Lord, may everyone here this morning be able to enter into your rest, into your Sabbath. Not just because they're sitting down, because in their soul they acknowledge you as the one who can be trusted, even with what I call the big ticket items. We can even trust you with our life. We can trust you with our retirement. We can trust you with our health. But we can trust you. Because of that, we can relax. We can relax right now. And that speaks volumes to a world that's always worked up. So I pray your rest and relaxation are cease from striving on all of your people, and all of your people that are here this morning, even into myself. And with that I pray in Christ's name. Amen.